Hi guys, so this is I'm just calling it an auction exercise, but basically it's just a list of things to be sold. It's given a price and when they have to be sold, and the document that I have distributed is as given here. So we're just calling it auction. Basically it's just a selling list, and this is how it looks. And in the actual application that I'll show you, I put these things on the side, and otherwise, I've got the page numbers, so I can talk about the pages and the page numbers as I go ahead and develop, this little application. So this is what the application when it's under preview, this is what it looks like. So this is where, this you can now, I can now, go to my smartphone and interact with this page. So suppose I'm selling some antique chair, input value 00, and I want to sell it by April 28th. I do save. This is my value. If you add up, you'll find that they do add up. And if I now start selling them, then these items will be dropping out of my list. So if I say done, so from 8250, 2000 is gone, so it has now become 6250. And so that is my application. And so I'm going to be basically deriving this application and following the document that I have given to you. So I'm going to go to Home Bubble, and I'm going to go and say create an app. And I can just say Abby auction. And I go next step, next step, next step, started building, and then I just close this thing. And so if I look at my Word document, I have an item called auction items. This has these three attributes. So this is like a table, database table. Table has columns. So these are the three columns. And I'm going to now go to my data and let me again bring it up. Those things don't stay together. So I'm going to now do auction items, date by, description, and minimum value. So new type, auction items. That's why I give the handouts. It makes life much more easy. Then I'll create a new field, date by, and that is the type date. These are all on page 1. Next, I create a field called description. This is text. And my third field is minimum value or value, whatever we want, And this is a number. And I might also create some data, to start with. So I say new entry, auction item, date, say 05/01/2023, 12:00 AM, and I say oil painting, and minimum value 1,500. Next, I'll create another one. Let's say new entry, date by 05/1/10/2023, 12:00 AM. Description, watercolor painting, and minimum value 500. So I've created two items, and now I'll go to the design, and I'm going to be creating the interface that you see on page 2. And so we start by fixing a few things like grids and borders. So we say snap elements to edges and grids. And at the top left, I've got an image. So I have given an image there, but we can always locate one that is suiting to us. Search for free images. I can say looking for a shop. Maybe we can make this as import. So that there it is, Now on the top, I have a text box called Smithfield Auctions. So I'm going to draw this text box. And I'm going to make this heading 5. Smithfield Auctions. And we could make it, center horizontally and see how it looks. Okay, then I have got 3 input boxes: input description, input value, and a date. So I have 3 input boxes, 3 input. So this is my first input, and I write here input description. So it comes up here, so the name makes sense and it is text. So always have to be careful that my data type is same as my data type in the table. And I can, do Control-C, Control-V, so that they all come out to be same kind of. The next one is the input value. So I make it input value, or I just make it value, so that will read value, and my content format is going to be decimal. And then I'm going to make this Control-C, Control-V. I'm going to just do Control-C, Control V, and I'm going to now change this and call this as date. Date content format is very important. It is now going to be a date, and initial content I could make it, current date and time. So I've done this, and I might as well see how it looks. Preview. So there I have, it's today's date, and so I go back to my Abby auction, and now I'm going to create what is called, so I'm going to create another text box. No, I should make this date and time picker, sorry. I will take this out. I will put this will look much better if I put a date and time picker here. And that is according to the handout that I've given you, Input date, initial content, current date and time. So this is now a date and time picker, not an input box. So the date and time picker is here. And now I can view. So this is now a date and time picker. Okay, so I have now a button called save. And so I am now on page 3. So when I click here, go to start and edit workflow, I am on page 3, and I say click to add a new action. So I'm going to create a new thing. A new thing that I'm going to create is the auction item. And I'm now going to set the values. It has 3 values. So first one is description, click, this is equal to input descriptions value. And then when I do it like this, it is blue. So that is good. Then I set the next one. Minimum value, click, input value. Oh, this is blue, it's good. Then I set the other one, click, date by, I go to date and time picker A is value. So that is the next one. And then I add an action here, which is element action reset inputs, so that area would be cleared up. So I go back to my design. So I have some logic working behind my save button, and I can test it out now. I go to description, so maybe I'll say description, a landscape, value 2000, and this I fix as 27th of April, and I do save. Now I go back to my bubble, I go to my data and I see here a landscape value 2000, April 27th has been done. So I am now able to write and save onto my application. So now I have, if I go back to page 1, I'm in page 2, I have a text box in which I just give the headings, description, minimum value to be sold by, So I go here, I just say rich text editor, maybe I make it. I make this, I don't know, maybe 3, and I write here description, minimum value, date to be sold by. And let me arrange it again horizontally and see how it looks. Okay, very good. Now I am going to be adding a repeating group. So almost everything here in this bubble happens to the repeating group. So I'm going to be adding a repeating group. And now this is given in page 5. So it says my type of content is auction items. Data source is search for auction items. Close. And I made it 4, but I made it 2. Let me make it 2, And I need, if you go to now page 2, I need 3 boxes there, 3 text boxes. So I draw a text box here, and that is current sales, which is all on page 2. Insert dynamic data, current sell auction items, description. I click here, it's blue, it's okay. Then I take another text box here. And again, this is current sale auction items, minimum value. Click here, it is blue, so it is okay. So when it is done right, they will repeat. And maybe I'll need some more space, because I'll have to include. And then the third one is current sell, again another text value. And I say current sell auction items, date by. So it's blue, it is right. So this is my repeating group, and I can now take this little here and here. And I can go and do a rich text, which I can move the minimum value more toward this side, and a date to be sold by more towards the right. And now I can go and see preview. So I had only 2 rows, so that's why I'm only seeing 2 of them. Now I can go back and set the properties differently. No, I have to set the property of the, and I said no fixed number of items. So if I have 2, it will be 2. If it is 20, then I'll get a slider. So now I go and do, and so now I've got a slider here, So I'm now showing the value. Then I'm going to now put a button. And I call this done. And what does done do? Well, that is shown in page 6. So I go to done. I go to start and edit workflow. So this is my done. Then I go to a data thing. I delete a thing. Current cell auction item. I do here, it is blue. So, it's just like as you see in page 6. So I go back to my design palette. I go to preview. I take this and it's gone. It's gone. So they're taken out in the database itself, and maybe I should include some more. Old book or something. Okay, so now I go back here, and in these current sales auction items, okay, so now I have to get a total. So I'll write here total to sell. And that value, I have to now have another text box that will give me the value. And I go to insert dynamic data. Search for auction items. Each item, so you have to do this very carefully, Each item's minimum value, and then this is going to be the sum. And then I click somewhere here and it's blue. So maybe I'll just drag it here so that, more readable it is, And so now I can go and do preview. And so that is the value, 2000, 2000 and 1500, So that is the project that you will have to be doing as part of your final submission. So you are selling something, whether it's selling to a business, whether you are selling a service, whether you're selling a bag, whether, you are selling some job, and, you're selling a job in which you have some commission. So, you can put the value as your commission. And then this is the way it should look, And now that you have some idea, you can now change the names, the field. This can be changed to anything you want. To make them look as dollars, you have to go and introduce the dollar sign, I don't know, it'll go, or the whole thing will. So basically, before inserting dynamic data, you have to introduce the dollar sign there, So that is how it is.